Yo, what is going on, guys? Mist Magius here. This is my my gaming channel name, by the way. I don't know why, but I've really had just an awesome fascination with the Pokemon Mist Magius. It's kind of my favorite Pokemon now, next to Umbreon. It's probably just because I love the color purple so much. And Ghost Pokemon are also just fucking sick. Anyway, though, yeah, welcome back to an episode of the worst team for Pokemon Red and Blue. Last time we took on Brock. And he was, surprisingly very, very easy. I don't know how we got away with him being so easy, but, yeah, he was. He used Bide a couple times, and it was honestly a wrap after that. He really, really wasn't that much of a challenge. Today, though, we're going to be heading over towards, this route over here, catching, Paris and Jigglypuff and stuff like that, and yeah, moving on with the next area in the game. Now, rather than, just like me commentating stuff like that over like what the trainers have, I'm sure you guys have played Generation 1 several times. Really isn't that hard, to know that they have like Pidgeys, Rattatas, bug catchers. Some guy has an Ekans, the youngster Joey guy. Shorts are comfy and easy to wear. We all know the Generation 1 jazz. What I want to get into, though, is my collaboration that I did with Drogain. If you guys are, obviously this has been a while since I've done this because Scarlet and Violet's DLC has already dropped. And the best team's already dropped. And as I'm recording this now, I actually have no idea what's going to be on these best teams. But with that said, my video that I did with Drogain should actually be going up today, which is actually September 5th of 2023. And in Drogain's video, we talk about Pokemon just not being the same as it used to be, like, back in the days of 2D. And like what I mean by that is in my video, I get into the discussion of why does Pokemon just hasn't really felt the same. I mean, it's just the effort that's been going into the games hasn't really felt as true as it has like in the past of Pokemon Black and White 2, and other Pokemon games on top of that. And I mean, like, these games just come out like incomplete, kind of like unfinished in a lot of aspects. Like, for example, in Pokemon Sword and Shield, it left a lot to be desired. Like the wild area, it just, they tried to make it open world, but it just didn't really seem like as open world like as you think it would be. And I mean, like, the story in Sword and Shield was very, very stale. Hop was an alright rival, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like, Trace is obviously 10 times worse. Trace honestly sucks. I think we can all agree on that. Let's Go had really, really nice graphics though, and I mean, it was a traditional linear Pokemon game with Go mechanics, yeah, but I mean, that's honestly like the style of Pokemon games that I was expecting to like come on the Switch. And I mean, this open world aspect with the main series games, like, going to the gyms, the 8 gyms and stuff like that, it's like you claim to be open world, but yeah, at the same time, you also remain kind of linear, going in the order while also trying to give off that open world aspect. I mean, like, it's still linear, but with being able to kind of go, like, off into like the wild area, being able to capture Pokemon at certain levels. Obviously, you have the DLC of like the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra. You have all the raids, but it's like if you capture those Pokemon, it kind of just makes the game easier to do. And like, I understand, that the Pokemon are harder to catch, but it's just, even with that, it's like getting an obedient, like a high level Pokemon without having all the badges and like not obeying you and whatnot. Sword and Shield, you're just very, very stale. The way how Chairman Rose was, it was just boring. And I mean, like, with Sword and Shield, the Pokemon were great, don't get me wrong. I mean, like, you have a great Pokemon like Dragapult, for sure. But then you just get into it had so much potential. Like, for a Pokemon, for the first Pokemon game that was supposed to be open world, like the actual first home console Pokemon game. Now you could argue with me that Let's Go was, and yeah, you're not wrong. Let's Go was the technical first 3D Pokemon game on the Switch. But Sword and Shield was like the brand new generation per se, like the generation that was supposed to take Pokemon into like an entirely different direction. But it's like it sold a lot of copies, but like to me it flopped. And like, you know, all the mons not coming back, you know, all the national decks hype, you know, I used to get like, you know, so overworked about people getting upset about why the Pokemon, you know, were in the games. I used to go on Twitter, you know, and troll them. It's just like, nah, dude, like I get where you're coming from now. Like 4 years later, I understand. It sucks that the Pokemon are not inside the games. Now, does it make or break Pokemon for me? No, it does not. But I mean, you promise all this stuff of like good animations, graphics. I'm gonna like technically speaking, like they should be better. But to me, graphics don't necessarily make or break a Pokemon game, because if I'm gonna play a good graphically like excellent game, I'm gonna play something on the PS5 and like not on the Nintendo Switch, you know, like, or something like on my PC, for instance. Like graphics in Pokemon really don't bother me. But Sword and Shield just came out so half-assed, in my honest opinion. And I mean, like, you know, the wild area, I mean, like, you know, it seemed really appealing at first. And I mean, yeah, like you can get Pokemon at your level, and seeing Pokemon out in the wild was a really cool thing. I will say this, Legends Arceus improved on it a lot. Legends Arceus actually went in the right direction. Being able to, like, you know, move around, dodge around, throw balls at the Pokemon. It was great. I do have my little gripes about Legends Arceus, you know, the bugs, certain glitches and stuff like that happening, but I mean, you know, that's just how it's gonna be. And I will admit that Pokemon is getting better with their releases. Legends Arceus was better than how Sword and Shield wound up, and I really liked a lot of the catching mechanics, and I liked Volo as a champion. I liked all like the little hidden puzzles. I love the side quests. Legends Arceus was legitimately fun. I really did enjoy it, and it really was a step up from Pokemon Sword and Shield. But with the first games being like, you know, with the start of like a brand new generation, it's just, I was expecting Pokemon Sword and Shield to be a little bit better. And you know, that's not all Pokemon's fault. It, like, I mean, like the Game Freak's fault. And I mean, like, you know, partially it might be. And I've been seeing these videos, you know, from certain creators in regards to people that have worked for the company, that like, you know, saying like, you know, that they really don't care, saying that like the working conditions really weren't all that great for them, and that's something for sure. But you know, it kind of, you know, like it kind of blows me away that stuff really came out, because I mean, like, as a Pokemon fan, and as someone, you know, who is, you know, loved Game Freak, like, you know, ever since I was a kid, I mean, they create my favorite Pokemon, they create my favorite video game franchise of all time. Like, you know, you wouldn't expect those things to be coming out, but I mean, it's also the Pokemon company's fault as well. I mean, they give Game Freak, you know, kind of a tough guideline to follow. Like, you know, very, it's kind of like they're strapped for time. Like, they don't really have the proper amount of time to really focus and finish up the games per se. And with that said, it's really disappointing, you know, when you are expecting something great, you know, when you see games like Breath of the Wild, it's like, oh, this is Pokemon, like it's going to be hype, and it just didn't perform very well. And the Sword and Shield was just very I thought it was kind of a dumpster fire. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like Sword and Shield are like my least favorite games in the entire series. Surely some of you guys know where I'm coming from. Some of you guys probably enjoyed Sword and Shield, and that's great. There were a lot of good Pokemon that dropped in there, design-wise. Dragapult, Alcremie. I forgot you fell asleep. Wake up, come on. Okay, good, you're up. I'm gonna go capture a Jigglypuff, by the way. So Will you die? Okay, yeah, so I knocked you out one shot. I didn't think it was going to be that easy. Maybe I can find a level 6 Jigglypuff. Nah, I don't want a level 3 one. I want one that's at least level 5, so it's not... There we go, level 5. Since my Rattata is also really, really strong, by the way, we're just going to have to sit here and spam Pokeballs at it. Hopefully it gets in a couple shakes. But you know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and save my game here. Just because, like, I don't want to be freaking completely broke when it comes to Pokeballs, and then, like, you know, I have to go and rebuy them again. Okay, good. It got in. Perfect. And I'll get back into my discussion about Sword and Shield in just a second. I just want to go ahead and nickname Jigglypuff here real fast. Too bad it's not a fairy type in this gen, because it would have really helped us out. If I'm going to nickname Jigglypuff, I'm going to go ahead and name her Diva. Jigglypuff in the anime kind of is like a diva. Adorable. Whether or not the Jigglypuff is a boy or a girl, I have no idea, but I think diva is gender neutral and it works on both fronts. So we're actually going to be doing a lot of switch training too between Jigglypuff and Rattata, most definitely. Anyways, back to what I was saying in regards to Pokemon Sword and Shield. Yeah, the game seemed half-assed, and you know, like Game Freak just, in my opinion, just didn't really get like a big time cycle because you have the Pokemon Company being like, you need to get these games out. We have merchandise we need to drop, the anime, trading cards, etc. We all know Pokemon makes a lot of money. But then, like, you know, you also get into the aspect of Pokemon also has DLC. And doesn't that technically give them like another year of time? It's just like, I understand that Pokemon's kind of like their side project now, but it's just like, the game should not be the quality that they are incomplete and like unfinished. Like in a way, like it kind of feels like we got a Fallout 76 situation on our hands where the games are just, they're complete, just glitch messes, the performance issues and whatnot, and everything kind of feels rushed and incomplete. And just, it's kind of just, it turns me off as a Pokemon fan, but I mean, regardless, at the end of the day, people are still going to buy. And I mean, like, I will too. I'm a sucker for buying Pokemon games. I mean, I do this for a full-time job and I get paid to do it, which is great. But at the same time, I mean, you know, I feel like as a Pokemon fan, you know, I'm allowed, you know, to, you know, voice my criticisms with the company and, you know, the way like how the Pokemon Company does things. And heck, even Game Freak in some aspects too. Like, you know, they're not all innocent, and just, I feel like, you know, that give the development to another company. If you're all strapped on time, you know, I heard that, you know, that they don't really have like a lot of employees and stuff. I mean, like, you know, this is all stuff I've heard. Like, you know, I haven't really done like a lot of like particular research about this, but I mean, I'm just, you know, voicing, you know, like my criticisms and stuff that I can see like on like a surface level per se. Now, if we get into something like Scarlet and Violet, we kind of run into the same exact issue as Pokemon Sword and Shield, where the games felt messy, incomplete. But in my opinion, I think Sword and Shield are inferior to Scarlet and Violet. One, because I think Scarlet and Violet has a better story. I do like some of the characters in Sword and Shield. I do like Leon as a champion. I think Leon is a very good champion. You know, congratulations on him in the Pokemon anime. And until Ash beat him, of course. But, and then, you know, we have, we have fantastic gym leaders in the game. B, the fighting type gym leader. Oh, man. The grandma lady, I forgot what her name was again. Milo. He's a silly guy. I will admit. He definitely has a very, very fun design for a first gym leader. I mean, because, like, you know, you're expecting like a rock type gym leader, you know, like, you know, as in like other ones. Yeah, Milo's cool. He looks like he's happy. He looks like he's having a good time. And then we have my favorite gym leader, Nessa. I absolutely love Nessa. She's one of my favorite, probably in my top 5 favorite gym leaders in the entire franchise. I love her team. I love her design. She's just great. But I mean, it still doesn't take away the fact that, you know, Sword and Shield felt incomplete and kind of rushed. And I'm going to say the same exact thing for Scarlet and Violet. As much as I loved a lot of the new design Pokemon that dropped, I also really, really liked the music. Area Zero. Iono, as you guys know, is my new personal favorite gym leader. I really enjoyed Cassiopeia. I liked the fact that Penny had an entire full team of Eevees. I even liked the backstory and just... Sorry about that. I got a text message. So what I was saying before about Scarlet and Violet was, yeah, Team Star. Team Star is incredible. I love Mela. I love Yakumo. They're all just great characters. And like, you know, it's really unfortunate, you know, that originally, you know, they were the ones who were bullied, and then, you know, they started to stand up for the bullies, and then, you know, the plan kind of backfired, and then, you know, they unironically became the bullies. I think it's definitely different, you know, from the traditional evil team approach, and I think Scarlet and Violet definitely delivered on some fronts in regards to new Pokemon avenues and just in an overall different kind of vibe. And I like the gym leaders in the game as well. Like, you know, Rhyme's also really, really cool. Grusha's dope. He's a snowboarder. Rhyme's a rapper. I like a lot of really, really cool character aspects, man. And even Nimona, I like her more than I do some of the other rivals going across. I mean, in comparison to X and Y's rivals and Hop, like, Nimona actually has kind of a personality. I mean, even though she's kind of like, let's battle. Like, I'm hyped up. Like, are you like a Goku and the Pokemon series? Like, let's fight, like, constantly. Like, damn, like, your Saiyan genetics are showing for sure. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, despite Scarlet and Violet and like everything I like about them, yeah, they honestly felt a little bit half-assed too. And it's like, I really, really do understand where, like, a lot of Pokemon fans are coming from in regards to that. They need more development time, and, you know, I feel like, you know, we just need more effort in comparison to what we've had in the past. And in, like, you know, in Pokemon Black and White too, like, there were so many underappreciated features, like the Pokemon World Tournament, Pokestar Studios. And something I actually forgot to mention in my Black and White 2 video was challenge mode. Pokemon fans have been wanting a difficult mode button on Pokemon games for as long as we can remember. And I'm personally one of them. I mean, Pokemon games nowadays are kind of easy. I mean, like, look at Gita. Gita as a champion was a complete flippin' pushover. As sad as it is, yeah, Gita kind of sucks. Like, like it's true. Like, it's just not very, very challenging. At least Leon was a challenge to a degree. I'll give that to Pokemon Sword and Shield. At least Leon was a challenge. And even in, like, the tournament, like the champion tournament towards the end of the game, like, I was honestly even kind of bored with that. Like, there's no post game in these. Like, you know, I mean, yeah, like, there's raids, but I mean, the thing is with online raids, it takes so long to even find one online. Like, I'll be, like, doing a raid, and something that I found out was you're not actually connecting to an individual Pokemon raid. Like, say, for example, like, you want a Walking Wake raid. Rather than just that specific individual Walking Wake raid, you're actually trying to connect to a Walking Wake raid. Like, that's just for that Pokemon in general, not that single one, if that makes sense. And I mean, like, it's still just, like, it's just slow, like, you know, I mean, like, online, like, it doesn't personally lag for me, but I mean, I understand why, you know, why some Pokemon fans are bugged by it. Like, it just, too many bugs and it just seems half-assed. Now, I will say that the DLC has not came out yet as of recording this video, but I am looking forward to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's DLC. I really, really do have high hopes for it. I know that it's obviously not going to be, like, the most performance-wise. I mean, it's probably going to follow Scarlet and Violet, same exact, you know, just like performance cycle and stuff like that. And I just hope that they're good. I hope that I enjoy the story. And I mean, I really, really do want to get more into Area Zero and, you know, what it's like. I want to find out, like, what happened, like, with the Indigo Disc and all the lore and stuff down there. Like, the lore for it is really, really good, but at the same time, I'll also say that we really don't get all that really, really good stuff until the very end of the game, where it's kind of, okay, you know, we have, like, a casual Pokemon journey going across. And then we get in here, it's like, where did this come from? And why is this one of the coolest things I've ever seen in Pokemon? Because it was really, really good. And I will admit that I also enjoyed, like the classes in Scarlet and Violet. Like, just very, very just slice of life aspects, that's different than your typical Pokemon games. Like you're an academy student. I mean, even in the DLC, you're going on a trip to Kitakami as a student. You're going to be meeting other students across too. I'm looking forward to it. I really, really am. It's Scarlet and Violet took a different direction. But I will say, one more final thing about like this whole entire 3D, the 2D aspect, and how Pokemon games aren't the same as how they used to be anymore. They claim that Scarlet and Violet is open world. And you're not wrong. It is. You can technically go anywhere you want, right? You really, really can. But then we get into my biggest gripe. Some of you may know what that gripe is. You claim it's open world, but then you have so many areas locked off. What I mean by that, think about it, right? Miraidon and Koraidon. There are parts of the game you can't access unless you have access to surfing, high jump, climbing, etc. Like say for example, right? Like I wanted to go take on, who's the fighting type Team Star member again? I forget. I'm so bad with names. But it's like you want to go take her on, right? And you can't because it's blocked off via climb. I have to go beat the Titanmon for me to get that first. And that's not even like the tip of the iceberg. The level cap. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet should have scaled to where you're at in the game. I should have been able to go, if you guys have played Pokemon Crystal Clear, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We go to the second gym, like for example, right, like I want to go face off against Misty as my first gym leader. She has a team that scales to whatever level your Pokemon are at, or your current badge count. That's honestly all they had to do. How they would have done that, and it would have been open world, I guarantee more fans probably could have looked more past the bug aspect. I get it, performance is an issue. I completely agree with that. But my biggest gripe is the fact that open world is not open world, because you're blocked off to certain areas, and the level cap didn't scale off to certain Pokemon in your party. Like, it's just, you go to Kofu's gym and the Pokemon are still the same exact as when you would go when you're the sixth, like when you have 6 badges. It is open world and it's not open world. And that's what really, really sucks about Scarlet and Violet, is that it's not open world. It is, but like, it's not, because if it was really open world, you would be allowing us to go to other places at any point in time we want to in the games. But unfortunately, that's not what we have. That's not how the Pokemon games have worked. Sword and Shield were kind of like that, but I mean, it's more so you're going on the Sword and Shield. To me, was they wanted to try features out and kind of introduce us to the direction of Pokemon that they wanted to take us in. And in a way, they did an alright job, with the wild area. Like, I'm not saying that the wild area is like the worst thing out there. I mean, I did enjoy, seeing Pokemon, like, in their habitat, etc. But like I was saying before, I just think that if you are going to go the open world approach, combine fronts from Legends Arceus and make it like the mechanics and stuff. I mean, Legends Arceus, you really can't compare. Like, it is a mainline Pokemon game, yes, but it's not like the traditional mainline Pokemon game we see, like with Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet. You have certain areas where you can go have open, where you have the open world stuff in, but they tried to do that while trying to keep it traditional with the wild area. to me, no. And then they tried to do full-blown open world with Scarlet and Violet, and then that didn't really work out at all. I think that's probably my best argument I've had since we've tapped into this discussion. There are probably holes in my argument in regards to Sword and Shield's wild area that I am probably missing, but the fact of the matter is this. If you're going to make a Pokemon game open world, make it fully open world. Don't make it linear and then have the wild area be parts. I mean, I don't know. To me, make it so I can go in any direction I want with proper level caps, etc. That's my rant. That is my rant. That's what I think me and a lot of other Pokemon fans want. I feel like I speak for a lot of people in the community. You know what I mean? Like, I really, really do feel that way. And a couple years ago, like, you know, I wouldn't, you know, be talking about this stuff. But it's like, you know, now, since I've been playing Pokemon longer and, you know, and like I've had like my opinion and stuff change, like that's legitimately like how I feel. Like Pokemon just is not the same as it used to be, and I wouldn't necessarily say that the games are like the quality is getting worse. It's been like it hasn't, but I mean like it's been kind of getting better, but also been kind of like staying stagnant. I mean like yes, some things have improved, but it's just, if you are going to give us something open world, I mean, and you know, you guys need like more game development time, then the Pokemon Company should allow Game Freak to do that. Like, I have no problem. I mean, yeah, like, don't get me wrong. I love my job. I love what I do. But I don't need a Pokemon game coming out every single year. Even in like a deal, like if we need to buy a year, like we need to buy a year. Zelda and Fire Emblem, for example, they've had like between Three Houses and Engage, there was a 3.5 year gap. Engage was great. I haven't fully beaten it. I'm very, very close. I'm on like chapter 22. But some people didn't like the Engage story, but you know, that's a topic for a different video. Bottom line is that they had a longer they had a longer development cycle, and those games turned out great. Fire Emblem Engage was like the perfect anniversary game for Fire Emblem fans, including myself. I'm a big Path of Radiance fan and Radiant Dawn fan. There was a lot of throwbacks to Ike and Soren. I love them both. And like, you know, Ike's personality, Soren's personality, like, and even in like other games like Sacred Stones, they had like some really solid throwbacks. And we also have Tears of the Kingdom. I know people hate it when Pokemon fans try to compare that, but I mean, it's just they had a longer development cycle, and I mean, Zelda still just did fine. Like, Pokemon makes plenty of money. Why did the developers have to be so greedy? Why can't we have like a good quality Pokemon game? You're still gonna make money. It's just like y'all are just greedy and just think more about the green signs rather than, you know, making good quality games. And I mean, I get it. Pokemon will sell anyway. In a sense, Pokemon's kind of like Call of Duty. You make a piece of crap and people are going to go and buy it. I did like Modern Warfare 2 for COD, but I mean, that's besides the point. Pokemon just needs a longer cycle. We need more effort put into the games. I think I speak for a lot of fans when I say this. My rant's done. Anyways, I've been recording for half an hour. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break, and I will see you guys tomorrow with episode 3. With that said, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below about my opinions on how I feel the Pokemon franchise is going. I'd love to talk about this more if you guys want. Let me know down below. With that said, I'll see you guys soon.